10 countries that can enter the US without a visa in 2025. Picture this. You're standing outside a US embassy. You've sold your phone to pay the visa fee. You've waited 6 months. And after a 2-minute interview, they say, "Sorry, not this time." No refund. No explanation. Just rejection. But somewhere else in the world, someone just booked a flight to New York. No interview. No visa. No problem. Same dream. Different passport. How is that fair? It's not, but it's legal. Because there's a secret program that lets citizens of certain countries just walk in. Like the borders don't even exist for them. And the craziest part? You probably don't even know which countries are on the list. This isn't about money. It's about where you were born. And that accident of birth? It decides everything. So ask yourself, were you born with a key to America? Or are you stuck breaking in through the back door of a dream? Let's reveal the top 10 countries that can enter the US visa-free in 2025. But warning, this list will either break your heart or change your life. Number 10, Singapore. Imagine this. You're standing in a long queue outside the US Embassy, clutching your documents, heart pounding with anticipation. You've saved for months, navigated complex paperwork, and now, the moment of truth. But then, a curt nod from the officer. Application denied. No explanation, no refund, just shattered dreams. Now, picture someone else. Let's call her Lena, a 28-year-old tech entrepreneur from Singapore. Lena decides on a whim to attend a startup conference in Silicon Valley. She fills out an online form, pays $21, and within minutes, she's approved. No interviews, no embassy visits, just a seamless process. A week later, she's sipping coffee in San Francisco, networking with potential investors. Why the stark difference? Singapore's passport is a golden ticket. As of 2025, it ranks number 1 globally, granting visa-free or visa-on-arrival access to 195 countries, including the US. This privilege stems from Singapore's inclusion in the US Visa Waiver Program, VWP, allowing its citizens to travel to the US for up to 90 days without a visa. In 2024, over 330,000 Singaporeans visited the US, a number that's steadily climbing. Their seamless travel experience isn't just about convenience. It's a testament to Singapore's robust diplomatic ties, economic partnerships, and mutual trust with the US. But here's the kicker. In Southeast Asia, only Singapore enjoys this visa-free access to the US. That's right, neighbors like Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand don't share this privilege. It's a rare status that sets Singapore apart in the region. You're not alone. The disparity in global mobility is stark. While some breeze through international borders, others face hurdles at every turn. It's a reminder of the invisible lines drawn by geopolitics and diplomacy. But don't lose hope. Knowledge is power. Understanding these dynamics can inspire change, fuel aspirations, and perhaps influence future policies. So, if you're intrigued by the mechanics of global travel, the privileges of certain passports, and the stories behind them, stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll delve into number 9 on our list, a country whose citizens enjoy similar perks. Can you guess which nation it is? Here's a hint. It's known for its neutrality and chocolates. If this story resonated with you, smash that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more eye-opening insights into the world of travel and visas. Number 9, Netherlands. Ever felt like you were playing a game where the rules change depending on your passport? Well, for millions around the world, entering the US is like solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. But for the Dutch, it's more like booking a weekend getaway. Back in 2024, nearly 850,000 Dutch citizens hopped across the Atlantic. No visa, no interrogation, number 6-month waitlist, just a 10-minute ESTA form and a $21 fee. That's it. And it's not just luck, it's legacy, diplomacy, and a near-perfect trust score. Let me tell you about someone, Jasper, 35, born and raised in Amsterdam. Jasper runs a small software company. One afternoon, he sees a conference ad for a major tech summit in San Francisco. On impulse, he checks if he needs a visa. Nope, just an ESTA. By dinner, he's got his approval. 1 week later, he's walking through Golden Gate Park, pitching investors, living a dream that takes others years to even approach. That's the privilege that comes with a Dutch passport, ranked among the world's strongest, with access to over 190 countries, visa-free or visa-on-arrival. But the real gem? Their inclusion in the US Visa Waiver Program, a deal that lets Dutch travelers stay in the US for up to 90 days with 0 embassy visits. Even more impressive, the Netherlands has a US visa overstay rate of just 0.13%. That's practically flawless, and it's why America keeps rolling out the red carpet. But here's the part that hits hard. While Jasper's booking flights, others are booking interviews. While he's exploring Silicon Valley, someone else is stuck in a months-long visa maze, praying their number gets called. That difference? It's not effort, it's origin. And this matters, because in today's world, where you're born can quietly decide the borders you'll cross or the ones that'll cage you in. So here's the real question. Does this feel fair to you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We are not just listing countries, we are starting a conversation. And stick around, because up next, we are heading to a country where the trains run on time, the chocolate is unmatched, and the visa-free perks are next level. Think you can guess it? Number 8, Spain. Lucia used to stare at the glowing signs in Times Square from a cracked phone screen in her tiny Madrid flat. She was 24, broke, juggling 2 waitressing jobs, and scrolling Instagram for a taste of a life she couldn't afford. She watched her favorite creators hop between LA, Miami, and Vegas like it was just another Tuesday. Meanwhile, she couldn't even afford a ticket to Seville. Until one day, it changed. A friend whispered the magic words, "You don't need a visa. Just an ESTA. 21 bucks." Lucia thought it was a scam, but it wasn't. In less than 10 minutes, she filled out the form. No interview, no documents, no consulate horror stories. 2 days later, she had the green light to enter the US. And within a week, she was walking barefoot on Venice Beach, tears in her eyes, knowing she'd just cracked the code. Spain's passport isn't just paper, it's power. In 2024, 1.3 million Spaniards landed in the US, leaving behind $5.2 billion in spending. Hotels, road trips, concerts, dreams. They didn't just visit. They lived it. And they earned America's trust with one of the lowest overstay rates in the world. Spain is in the elite visa waiver program, which means citizens get 90 days in the US, no visa, just ESTA, valid for 2 whole years with unlimited entries. That's not a perk. That's a passport privilege. But here's where the gut punch lands. People from neighboring countries, Morocco, Algeria, even parts of Eastern Europe, wait months. They pay more, prove more, beg more, and still get denied. Same dreams, different fates. Because a stamp in your passport decides your access to the world. And that's the cruelest lottery of all. So I'll ask you this. If Lucia had been born just 300 miles south, would she still be chasing sunsets or stuck chasing embassy appointments? Let that sink in. Drop your thoughts in the comments. This is bigger than just travel. This is about fairness, opportunity, and freedom, all packed into a single document. And don't blink, because next, we head to a country where neutrality is legendary, banks are everywhere, and the passport? So powerful, they walk into the US like VIPs. You're not ready for this one. Number 7, Italy. I never thought I'd see Broadway lights with my own eyes, whispers Marco, a 29-year-old chef from Naples, as he stands amidst the dazzling streets of New York City. Back home, Marco spent years perfecting his craft in a small trattoria, dreaming of the day he'd experience the culinary wonders of America. But the thought of navigating the complex US visa process felt like an insurmountable hurdle. Then, a revelation. Italy's inclusion in the US visa waiver program. With just a $21 ESTA application, Marco could embark on a 90-day journey across the US, no embassy visits or lengthy paperwork required. Within days, he was on a flight, his dreams finally within reach. In 2024, over 1.2 million Italians visited the United States, contributing nearly $4.9 billion to its economy. This surge isn't just about tourism, it's a testament to the deep-rooted ties between the two nations. Italy's exceptionally low overstay rate, well below the 2% threshold, cements its status as a trusted partner in the visa waiver program. But while Marco's journey was seamless, countless others face a starkly different reality. Individuals from countries outside the visa waiver program often endure months of waiting, hefty fees, and the looming possibility of rejection. Their aspirations are the same, but their passports dictate a more arduous path. This disparity raises pressing questions. Should one's birthplace determine their freedom to explore the world? Is it just that Marco's dreams were expedited while others remain in limbo? We invite you to share your thoughts. Do you believe the current system is fair? Have you faced similar challenges or triumphs in your travel experiences? Let's foster a dialogue that brings these issues to light. And stay tuned, because next, we are journeying to a nation renowned for its precision, neutrality, and breathtaking landscapes. Their citizens enjoy unparalleled travel freedoms, and the reasons might surprise you. Number 6, France. Clemens had always dreamed of New York. Not the postcards or Eiffel Tower-shaped souvenirs you find in Times Square, but the soul of the city, the jazz clubs, the smell of roasted peanuts on a rainy night, and the skyline that seemed to whisper, "You made it." Back in Marseille, Clemens worked as a wedding photographer. She'd shoot for hours under the sun, editing all night, pouring her heart into every pixel. But America? That felt like a fantasy, until she discovered something powerful hiding inside her little burgundy booklet. The French passport, ranked one of the strongest in the world. No visa, no consulate interviews, number 6-month waiting lists, just a $21 ESTA application, and Clemens was cleared for takeoff. In 2024 alone, Over 1.5 million French travelers made their way to the US, spending a whopping $6.1 billion on hotels, food, shopping, and experiences, according to the latest reports. That's not just tourism, that's economic muscle. And here's where it gets even better. The French overstay rate is so low, it's almost poetic. Less than 0.2%. It's one of the many reasons France is a permanent favorite in America's visa waiver program. The system works when trust is mutual, and France keeps showing up on time, in style, and with receipts. Whether it's brunch in Brooklyn, sunsets in Santa Monica, or snapping selfies under Yellowstone Giza, French citizens don't wait months for a visa. They hop on a plane and arrive with confidence. But let's pause for a moment. Because while Clements was breezing through JFK, thousands of travelers from non-waiver countries are stuck in visa limbo. Rejected, delayed, or worse, never allowed to chase their American dream. So tell me, do you think the passport you're born with should limit your access to the world? Is this system fair? Or is it time we rethink global mobility? Drop your thoughts below. We are listening. And don't even think of leaving yet. Up next, we are heading to a country where chocolate, clocks, and citizenship power collide. Their overstay rate is legendary, and the access they have might just make your jaw drop. You won't want to miss it. Stay locked in. This list is about to get shocking. Number 5, Australia. The Aussies are everywhere, and the US is one of their favorite playgrounds. In 2024, 1.3 million of them flew in and dropped $5.8 billion. Whether it's LA, New York, or a pancake diner in Iowa, Aussies are living it. With one of the lowest overstay rates, just 0.12%, Australia's got an open-door policy with Uncle Sam. All it takes is a $21 ESTA, cheaper than popcorn at a movie in Sydney. But for Kayla, a 26-year-old from Melbourne, that $21 meant escape from burnout, from heartbreak, from a job that drained her soul. She'd always dreamed of America, not the polished Instagram version, but the gritty, golden streets of New York, the neon buzz of Vegas, the silence of a desert highway. One night, after a rough shift and an even rougher breakup, she Googled how to travel to the US without a visa. ESTA, 10 minutes, one confirmation email. That was a lifeline. That was her out. She landed in LA with a duffel bag and a playlist. 3 months later, she'd seen snow for the first time in Denver, cried watching Broadway in Manhattan, and eaten the best ribs of her life in Texas. And when she flew back home, something in her had changed. She wasn't just a tourist anymore. She was alive again. This is what that $21 ESTA can mean for Aussies. Not just convenience, but freedom, adventure, healing. And the US knows it. Because when Aussies visit, they don't just come to spend. They come to experience. They bring their spirit, their humor, and their respect. And with that low overstay rate, they bring trust. So if you're from Australia, or you've traveled like Kayla, tell us what your journey felt like. Did you cry under the lights of Times Square too? Did that one random trip flip your entire story? Let's talk in the comments. Because up next, the next country on this list isn't just visiting America. They are practically woven into its soul. And what happens next will leave your jaw on the floor. Number 4, South Korea. They told her she was wasting her life. That music, art, and America were just fairy tales meant for someone else. But Hannah, 22, had one thing that couldn't be taught in Seoul's cram schools, a fire that refused to die. She'd grown up on a shaky mattress in a 2-room flat in Busan, raised by a single mom who cleaned luxury apartments she could never afford to live in. Their TV was always on low volume, but Hannah kept turning it up every time a New York street scene or California sunset flashed across the screen. In 2024, Hannah did something no one in her family had ever done. She booked a one-way flight to San Francisco with just $312 to her name and a battered suitcase filled with sketches, mixtapes, and fear. Ow! A $21 ESTA. That's all she needed. No visa, no interviews. Just a green light from Uncle Sam. And she wasn't alone. Over 2 million South Koreans came to the US in 2024, collectively spending $7.2 billion. That's not tourism. That's impact. The South Korean passport? It's top 5 globally. And their overstay rate? A jaw-dropping 0.13%. They don't just show up. They show up right. But back to Hannah. She arrived and slept 3 nights in a Greyhound bus terminal, guarding her dreams like they were diamonds. She cried in bathroom stalls. She drew portraits of strangers in exchange for burritos. She almost flew home. Until one day in Union Square, an art professor from LA saw her sketching a girl with headphones and asked, "Who did this?" She looked up and said, "Me." He said, "You're coming with me." Real quick, this might surprise you. Our analytics show we've got more people watching than subscribing. Wild, right? If you're still here, vibing with this story, chances are you already one of us. So hey, tap that subscribe. No pitch, just good vibes. Let's keep going. Fast forward. Hannah's work now hangs in a San Diego gallery. Her mom cried when she saw the article. She didn't waste a life. She built it. And that's South Korea's quiet magic. They send us students, CEOs, fashion trailblazers, and tech innovators. And they don't break the rules. They raise the bar. Here's where it gets crazy. Some of these travelers, they don't just come for fun. They come because the stakes are life-changing. So here's my question to you. If a one-click form and $21 stood between you and your future, would you do it? Or would you let the fear talk you out of everything? Because next up, we are diving into a nation whose citizens turned heartbreak into hustle and built billion-dollar legacies on American soil. Don't blink. Don't scroll. What's coming might just change how you see everything. Smash that like if you felt something. And tell me in the comments, what would you fly across the world to become? Number 3, Germany. Germans don't just engineer cars, they engineer perfect vacations. In 2024, 2.1 million Germans landed in the US and spent a massive $7 billion. They didn't come unprepared. They came with passports that open over 190 countries. No visa. No drama, just a $21 ESTA and a mission. And their overstay rate? A flawless 0.09%. They don't just visit, they respect the system. But behind those clean numbers is something raw. Let me tell you about Annika, a 35-year-old mother of 2 from Hamburg. She grew up watching American movies, dreaming of one day standing beneath the Hollywood sign. But life had other plans. Her husband died young, leaving her with debt and grief. For years, travel felt like a luxury she couldn't even fantasize about. Then something shifted. She started her own small bakery, selling cinnamon rolls with a German twist. Customers loved it, especially the American soldiers stationed nearby. They told her, "You gotta take this to the States." And just like that, the dream returned. She applied for ESTA, no embassy visits, no long lines. A few weeks later, she was on a plane with her kids, heading to Los Angeles. They laughed walking down Venice Beach. She cried quietly at a bakery in Santa Monica, tasting cinnamon that reminded her of a late husband. That wasn't just a trip. That was healing. Germany isn't just sending tourists. They are sending stories. Builders, thinkers, survivors. From the neon lights of Vegas to the quiet roads of the Midwest, they show up curious, careful, and committed. And hey, quick pause. From what we've seen, most of you watching haven't shared your take in the comments. We want to know, do you think Germany's visa-free power should expand, or should there be tighter controls? Speak your mind. We read every single one. Because the next country on this list, it isn't just showing up, it's reshaping the American dream in ways no one expected. And what you'll hear next might just stop you mid-scroll. Number 2, Japan. Yuki hadn't left Tokyo in 6 years. Not since she lost her younger brother in a car crash just 3 blocks from their home. Every day since, she drowned herself in routine. Same train, same tea, same silence. But after surviving breast cancer in early 2024, she made a silent promise to herself. I have to live, not just exist. Her first stop? America. Not to escape, but to reclaim something she thought she lost forever. Joy. Yuki was one of the 3.8 million Japanese travelers who touched down in the US in 2024. And together, they spent a record-breaking $9.3 billion at tech expos in Austin, Comic-Con in San Diego, and cherry blossom festivals in DC. They are not just tourists, they are seekers of meaning, of memory. And here's the kicker, they don't even need a visa. Just a $21 ESTA. That's less than a Tokyo lunch combo. With one of the top 3 strongest passports on Earth, Japan plays the travel game like chess masters. Their overstay rate? Just 0.06%. That's near perfection. Precision. Respect. Discipline. That's the Japanese signature. But here's where the story stings. Yuki walked into a used bookstore in Boston just to kill time before her flight home. And there, wedged between Hemingway and Steinbeck, was an old English version of a manga her brother used to read every night before bed. She froze, then cried. She held that book like it was his heartbeat, like he never really left. And that's the power of travel. It's not about escaping your past. It's about running right into it and finding peace. Now real quick, from our stats, it's wild how many of you are watching without dropping a single thought. So I'm asking you this. Do you think Japan's near-perfect visa-free record is something they've earned, or a system that needs more scrutiny? Drop your thoughts below. Because next, after all the precision and politeness of Japan, we are heading straight into chaos. Not just the number 1 country, but the one place that breaks the rules, bends the stats, and challenges what freedom really means. And trust me, it's not who you think. Stay with us. The real story's just beginning. Number 1, United Kingdom. It started with a letter from a grandfather, aged, tea-stained, and postmarked 1963. One day, you'll see America, he wrote, and when you do, you'll understand why I stayed. For 27-year-old Lucy Bennett, that line haunted her. Growing up in rainy Manchester with tales of Route 66 and neon-lit diners, she had no idea that in 2024, she'd be boarding a Virgin Atlantic flight to finally trace his footsteps. And she wasn't alone. 4.6 million British citizens touched down in the United States last year. That's not a visit. That's a quiet, well-mannered cultural takeover. From Las Vegas poker tables to Broadway musicals and all the way down to barbecue joints in Alabama, the Brits are showing up and showing out. Together, they spent an unbelievable $13.2 billion on US soil in just 1 year. No visa, no interview, just an ESTA and a hunger for adventure. Their passport? One of the strongest in the world, ranked in the global top 5. Their overstay rate? Just 0.07%. That's cleaner than a Buckingham Palace lawn. The Brits don't just visit. They respect the system, the timeline, and the culture. And let's be real, Americans love the accent, the charm, the wit, and the willingness to actually tip wait staff. But let's go back to Lucy. She ended up in Mississippi, standing in front of the exact house her grandfather lived in before being drafted. It was abandoned now, boarded up and quiet. But through a crack in the wood, she slipped that same letter back inside. She smiled. He made it. And now, so did I. That's what makes British tourists special. They are not just spending money. They are chasing stories, history, and closure. It's travel with purpose. What do you think? Are the Brits America's favorite guests? Or is there another country we are sleeping on? Drop it in the comments. We read every single one. And here's your tease. If you thought that was the finale, think again. We are diving into the unexpected next, where visa waivers are being quietly revoked and millions could lose access overnight. What's happening behind closed embassy doors will blow your mind. So buckle up. Because while the Brits may have topped the charts today, tomorrow, it could all change in a heartbeat.